Okay, so all paranormal things aside, I thought it would be fun to go out at midnight to take some baseline EMF readings, and I wanted to invite you to come join me. If you're not familiar with the device I'm using, this is a Mel meter, and it isn't your typical Mel meter since this particular model has a couple of other really cool features. For example, the REM feature and the atdd feature. This device is easily my favorite since it is layered, okay? And out of all of the Mel meters that do exist, this isn't even the most layered device. There are other ones that have, for example, shadow detection, and there's one more other really cool feature, and it escapes me right now. If I do end up remembering it at any point in this walk, I will mention it, but my particular device that I'm holding right now has the REM and the atdd. For the purpose of this video, I'm only going to be using the traditional features to measure the EMF and temperature, but I will explain to you guys a little bit about the two other features that I won't be using. The REM feature, when activated, is awesome. You just raise the antenna and press the REM button on the back of the device to activate it. And what that does is it causes the device to act as a trigger object and technically a communication device with spirits or entities should they want to engage with you in that way. And if they're even around that, at that time to engage with you. The antenna gives off its own field technically, and it is widely accepted among paranormal investigators who use devices like REM pods in this one, that spirits or entities actually have the ability to manipulate electromagnetic fields. And so that's what makes devices like this one so awesome, because when an entity or spirit gets close to the antenna, it causes the device to sound audibly and the lights to go off. The atdd feature, when activated, lets you know if and when there's any drop or rise or fluctuation, like a dramatic one, in temperature beyond the baseline temperature that your device is initially picking up on. There are two lights at the side of the device that indicate hot or cold temperature fluctuation, so with red corresponding to hot and blue corresponding to cold. And I wanted to mention the engineer behind this awesome device. His name is Gary Galka. For those of you who don't know about the history behind this device, I love these devices so much, and I really appreciate his work so much. This device was actually inspired by his daughter Mel, who very tragically passed away after a car accident. And so he was inspired to create this device to communicate with his daughter and prove her existence around him after her passing. And he was successfully able to do so, and hence why this device is called the Mel meter. Okay, I will tell you guys that I did go out during the daytime last week to record some baseline readings, and I did not visually record the results, but I did write them down. And I will tell you, I got some very interesting readings that time around, so without spoiling it too much for you guys, I'm curious to see what we get this time around. Okay, so this street here is lined with power lines, and then directly across the street from us we have the railroad tracks. So the train regularly passes through here. I wanted to talk to you guys about the controversy surrounding EMFs. Many people believe that they're sort of bad for our health, and they are actually constantly being emitted from our devices, phones, electronics, cell towers, power lines. Later on during our walk, we will measure some power lines for the EMFs being emitted from them, just so we can see what all actually really comes out of them naturally. I did want to make note of the train tracks as well. It is widely believed that places near trains are more likely to engage with paranormal phenomena since metal is a conductor. So is water, by the way. And paranormal theory suggests spirits may be drawn to or energized by conductors such as metal or water. Tracks are also many times linked with historical events and may hold residual or intelligent energy and activity around them. EMFs also energize spirits, so I'm really drawn to this area between the tracks and the power lines. I did want to give you guys a nice kind of view of the scenery so that I'm not only entertaining you with whatever we pick up on the device. And I did want to tell you guys, down there we actually have a funeral home, and I will tell you guys that on the sweep that I did during the day last week, the device zeroed out every single time around the funeral home, which was interesting to me. So I'm curious to see if we get that again. On one hand, zeroing out is awesome because it's a great baseline to start with. On the other hand, it did have me thinking that, you know, nothing paranormal is actually going on in a place widely believed to house paranormal activity. Because when you really think about it, wouldn't funeral homes and like cemeteries be the first two places that are so cliche that anyone would ever come looking for ghosts? Okay, I will say I'm out here pretty late, but I'm definitely not the only one out, so hopefully I'm not disturbing anyone's peace. Probably people might be looking at me funny whenever they're driving past, you know, because I'm just out here measuring EMF. There's nothing like walking around at night, though, in comparison to walking around during the daylight. This is absolutely so peaceful right now. Okay, guys, so we are approaching this building here, and the last time I swept through here, I did get some funny readings. So let's see what we get here. Let me give you guys a good view. Okay, so there it is. Okay, so that's the funeral home. And I don't know if you guys caught that, but the lights are definitely on in there. You see those top lights? I'll give you guys a better look. Just bear with me here one moment. Oh, without being too nosy, you see the lights are on. And over there too. So, you know, I'm not sure if somebody lives above the funeral home, but also it is past midnight right now, so if anyone's awake in there, it's just, I don't know, it's just odd. I guess I never thought about it. I never thought about the fact that somebody might live above or inside the funeral home, but the lights were definitely on. And as you can see here, you guys, the device has zeroed out again, and you know, from almost every angle, because we did go on that side. Now we're going on this side, so we don't have any significant EMF spikes or anything like that. Kind of boring, am I right? I don't know. You'd think that you'd get a little bit more from a funeral home, but what can you do? It's just so crazy, you guys, because I'm fully a believer in all things paranormal in terms of phenomena, because I have had friends and loved ones tell me about all sorts of crazy stuff that's happened to them, and I'm just sitting here like, hey, come talk to me, I'm right here. And like, I just laugh about it because, you know, either my frequency or the vibration that I'm setting off is just absolutely not a vibrational match to entities or spirits, or they just do this for fun and just completely ignore me on purpose. But I am still waiting for something substantial to happen to me, okay, in terms of, you know, ghosts, spirits, entities. And I will say I am not afraid of any of that. If anything, you know, I'm more afraid of like what real live people are capable of. But I'm definitely not afraid of anything paranormal. All right, you guys. So we're coming around to this building now. It's very pretty and lined with lights. Let me see if I could give you guys a good view. I believe it's some kind of apartment complex or something, but I will say the last time I swept through here, you guys, I did get some funny readings. It's worth it for me to say that I do have a special EMF protective case covering my phone in an effort to kind of obtain the cleanest, most untainted readings and evidence possible. So you guys see these plates on the ground. We're going to be approaching like these water plates or sewer plates on the ground, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go and take some readings, because the last time that I swept through here I had spikes of like 26, and it sort of confused me. So I was going to say, if anyone else has some insight on that or knows why that's happening, if you could please comment below to explain. see. And you know, like I mentioned, right now I'm not getting the numbers at that caliber, because last time it was at 26, and right now I guess they're a little bit low, but still, you know, in comparison to holding the device up in the air, whenever I swoop down, you can see that the numbers did increase. And I did want to give you a nice view of this, of the lights lining this building. It's so pretty at nighttime. There's really nothing like it, but it's nice to share it with you guys. So we're heading down this side of the street here, and eventually we are going to get to those power lines that I wanted to show you. When I was doing my daytime sweep last week, I got spikes of 70 around the power lines, which sort of surprised me in terms of how high that number was. So I'm curious to see if we can get the device to show readings that high again, or you know, anywhere near that high. And we are actually headed over toward there right now in that direction. So I'm about to take you guys to the power lines. I also wanted to thank you guys so much for being here with me, for watching this video. And I will say this video is quite long. It's about 18 minutes long. So if you make it through the entire thing with me, I really appreciate you, and you're awesome, and thanks for sticking around and hanging out with me. This building right here that we're passing, it's fenced, and I'm pretty sure it's some kind of historical building, but I haven't looked into its history. But it's wooden, and it has a wooden fence around it. And okay, you guys, so this is one of the power lines, if you can see. So far the readings aren't that high. I think we're gonna step over to the side and let's see what we can get at the side right here. But yeah, that's a pretty loaded power line, as you can see. Oh, see, there we go. We got a huge spike there, but to be honest with you, when I saw 70 last week, I was just like, wow, blown away. There's another one over there, but it is in between buildings, and I'm not gonna go up to that one right now because I don't want to get caught on somebody's security camera. But what we can do is we can go over to this one over here. So this one's not as loaded as the other one. I believe this one's an in-between power line. It doesn't have all of that metal up top, so it's not as loaded. And as you guys can see, we're still across the street from the train tracks, the train station. So here's another sewer plate. Let's see what we'll get, right? It was worth it to kind of swoop down and see. But look, this one's very almost normal in comparison to those other ones. And not to mention that, you know, there were no power lines at the first plates that we measured. So I appreciate you guys for coming with me. So this building to the left of us is obviously a school, and we're going to be walking next to their parking lot very soon. I'm hoping you guys are enjoying this scenery and this greenery. It's quite nice and peaceful outside right now. And like I said, there's really nothing like walking around at nighttime in comparison during the day. You know, during the daytime, everybody's out and about, kind of enjoying themselves and doing what they need to do and running around. It's a lot busier. Which I would never ever deny anybody of, you know, enjoying themselves during the day, but there's just nothing like my peace at nighttime. So what do you guys think about the readings that we've collected this far? We are coming around the corner right now, and we are making our way around back to the starting point. Not quite there yet, but, you know, inching our way on over. And do you guys maybe somewhat recognize where we are? Because we have made it full circle, you guys. We are back to the starting point. Let me just go back to the exact place so that I can show you guys. And we can all pat ourselves on the back because we made it. An entire 18 minutes, you guys. Thank you so much for joining me. For anybody who stuck out for the entirety of this video, thank you. I appreciate you. Congrats. And till next time, you guys are awesome. Bye.